Jason09 here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, what's the best lens, I should say, should you get for your new Canon T7i? So, to answer this question, I've actually broken this down into the 5 categories of lenses: wide angle, best overall, kit replacement, best low light, and the best primes. The reason I've done so is because there's the best lens out there for different situations. Alright, so first off, the best wide angle lens that you can get for your Canon T7i is going to be the Tokina 11-16. As you all know, we have a crop sensor camera. If you didn't know, that means whatever lens you get, multiply that times 1.6. For me, the only time that I have ever used a wide angle lens was to shoot real estate videos. The first one I didn't even do it with a wide angle lens at all. But that being said, the Tokina is the best lens for a wide angle that you can find for the Canon T7i, unless you want to go to a Canon L series lens, which at that point you'd have to buy EF adapters and put them on your camera and introduce things like a speed booster into your vocabulary. For me, where I'm at, that's just not in my cards. So the best overall, Sigma makes a 24-70, or it might be 28-70. I'm going to double check that, f2.8 lens. And that is going to be the best overall lens because 24mm on a crop sensor is going to give you 38.4mm for your focal length. And the human eye can see at 35mm. For that category, it's going to give you a great focal range, so you can do tight shots because 70 times 1.6 is 112. So you've got 38 to 112 in reality instead of 24 to 70. That's going to give you a variety of focal lengths, especially for video. That's pretty good. Maybe you won't have a wide angle, and that's too bad, but for anything like 28mm in focal length, you could really just step back maybe a foot or two and get the shot that you want. Maybe 3 feet if I'm being realistic here. So the best kit lens replacement that I found is the 17-50 Sigma lens. Now it is a 2.8 aperture. This is the EXDC OS HSM. I can't tell you what all of those things mean specifically. What I can tell you is that, like you may be, I was tempted to look into a lens like the 18-35, which I bought, and then I was absolutely shocked by how bad the performance was for the autofocus. And for me, that's a real deal breaker because I personally like to shoot a lot of things with my autofocus on, and the reason why I would recommend getting a lens that's good with autofocus with this specific camera, the T7i, is this feature called focus peaking. Focus peaking is where when you are filming something, you can turn your focus ring on it and it'll glow whatever color you have selected. On a T7i, there is no such thing as focus peaking. So how are you going to know if something's in focus, you ask? Well, that's the thing. You have to eyeball it through your viewfinder or your live view and figure out what's in focus and what's not. I love the quality. I'm going to show you guys some photos that I took with my 17-50 and a little bit of video too. Just to give y'all an example of why this is my go-to and why I really do like the look that this lens gives. But enough of me talking that up. The best for low light, I'm going to go ahead and say the 18-35 by Sigma. Now this is a $700 lens as of right now. That's how much I got mine for. So it is a 1.8 aperture. Now 18-35, I know it's a nice focal length. I really enjoy using that focal length when it comes to filming people. But the thing is, one full stop lower, that's going to give you a lot more light, and you're going to need that if you ever are in a dark situation where you just want to have more light. Just know the autofocus in my experience is not very good at all, which is going to lead me into my next category. So the best prime lenses when you're starting out is the 50mm 1.8 Canon. Now I bought that, my first prime lens, and it's great. Absolutely love the look and feel of the lens. It is so light to carry on your camera and it's just easy to use. So like I said, it has great autofocus. The manual focus is really tricky. It's a very photo oriented lens, so a very minor twist can make a major adjustment to to what you're focusing on. That's cool for photography, but for video, you're probably not going to want that. You want something where the longer you turn the focus, it's really smooth. You can turn it for a while and you can predict where you're gonna go when it comes to the focusing. And that lens is just not going to be it for manual, which is why I use it in automatic 100% of the time. I've never used it manual and I don't ever plan to. Intermediate level prime lens, I'm going to recommend the 35mm 1.4 art lens from Sigma. Now the reason I would recommend this one is because it's 35mm, which on our cameras the crop sensor is going to be around 50mm, which is fantastico. And also 1.4, I mean, what else are you gonna get that goes below that f-stop? If you're really into bokeh and background blur, Sigma makes a whole bunch of 1.8, 2.8 lenses that I think would be interesting to a lot of y'all. And some other brands that you might want to compare them to would be Tamron is a pretty good brand as well. So don't be afraid to shop around, but in my experience and from what I've seen and what I own, Sigma glass is excellent for what I need it for, and I really enjoy it. I enjoy the autofocus on my 17-50. You get what you pay for when it comes to camera glass, but you also need to think about if you want to have a specialty lens. Not everyone wants to have an 85 and then a 50 and then a 35. Maybe you want to have one lens that you can use for everything, or maybe even 2 or 3. We're all at different levels and we all do different things. Not everyone makes the same kind of content or wants the same results. So you really just think for a second and just think about what you actually want. Do you want something that you can use for a lot of things? Do you want something that you can use for certain things? Do you want a combination of the two? It's up to you. That rhymed. I hope this video has been really helpful. These are the best lenses, and the overall winner in my opinion, a 24-70 or 28-70 2.8 lens by Tamron, Canon, Sigma. Any of those brands, they are all very similar in quality. I've watched YouTube videos on them. They seem like they're very close. They should be good. Any of those, bang for your buck, $1,000, you get one, you're pretty much done buying lenses for a minute. So think about that, and thank you for watching this video, and I will see y'all next time.